So we'll just move up to the top of the post here. Let's take a look at our reference. And we have a couple pieces up here, nothing too crazy. As I said, the bottom's the most challenging part, so everything up here is kind of easy in comparison. We're just going to start with these pieces right here. And I think we're going to do the Sentry one first. Let's just see if we can get a better look at this. And it's basically just like a rounded over piece with a bolt running through the center here that connects to these two plates on the outside, so nothing too crazy. We should be able to get it done fairly quickly, so let's just maybe jump into our right view. We're not going to be able to see this very good because it's being blocked by the two side pieces here. But this is it right here in the center, so we're just going to have to kind of wing it. So let's jump into the right view for a second. And I'm going to start with a cylinder again, so we'll just draw one out here that's kind of centered on our post. And let's go out like that, and we'll just give it some random height. And we could try using 8 sides, but I think we might need a little more resolution to make that shape. Let's just take another look. It's fairly steep, as you can see there, so let's maybe try 12 sides. That should work, I think. Alright, so let's convert this to editable poly. First thing I'm going to do is just cut it in half. So let's go to vertex, just grab the 4 verts here on the side and hit connect. And then we're going to trash the bottom half. So grab all those polys and delete them. Just jump out quickly into the back view and just select everything but the left side and delete it. Just so we're working with a single planar surface again. And just go in here, I'm going to go into X-ray mode, Alt-X, and we'll just start cutting in some edges. So let's turn off polygon. I'm just going to go and grab cut. And I think I'm going to cut it right down the center first. So let's just start right up here on the vert. And just go straight down and click on the bottom edge, right click, and it might just scale this down ever so slightly, so let's just go down a bit like that. Okay, we have this bolt going through the center here, so we're going to need a hole. Before I cut that in though, I'm just going to actually add some support to this shape, so let's grab our 2 faces here. I'm just going to do an inset, and we'll just go up to maybe about 1.2 or 1.3, that should be fine. We'll say okay. And I'm just going to isolation mode here so we can see easier, and let's turn that off. And I'm just going to continue these down. So let's go to cut again, and we'll move into the corner and just connect this down to the bottom edge. Click, right click, and we'll cut it across to the side as well. Right click. Just want to continue the support edge to the outside. Do that over here. Right, cut there, cut down here. Click, and then we'll just grab this edge here on the corner. This one over here holding control, I'm just going to hit remove. And just make sure you hit remove. If you hit control backspace, it's going to remove the corner vert and it's going to actually angle the corner there. Alright, so let's grab maybe a couple verts here. I'm just going to grab this one on the inside of the support edge and this one over here. Actually, let's do this with cut. Right, turn off vertex, let's grab cut and just cut from this one right across to this one. Right click. And we'll see if we can get our whole shape in here. So let's go grab a circle shape again in the shapes panel. I'm going to draw it out right on this center spot. Yeah, I'm not sure how big we're going to need, so let's just go maybe 14 or 15, that should work, I think. And we'll just align it to our piece. So click on this with the align tool. I'm going to do this on X and Y. We don't need to do it on Z this time, so just leave that unticked and just do center and center. Say OK, and let's drop into the interpolation rollout in the modifier tab. And we'll just take our interpolation steps down to 1 again, like we did before. And I'm just going to actually center this down here. Let's grab this piece for a second. Just going to exit X-ray mode, and just grab this, and just move it down so it's lined up with our edge. And I'll just cut it in, so let's grab our piece here, cut, turn on our vert snaps again, and just trace this quickly. Right, all the way around, click it on each point, and then right click, turn off cut, and we'll just hit H here and grab our circle and just delete it. We don't need it anymore, and then we'll just quickly quad it up. So let's turn off our snaps, select our face here, and we'll just go to vertex and just connect some of these up like we did before. Right, so just grab every corner one, connect. We'll do these guys up here and these ones, just to maintain quads again, and we'll just support our circle here. So let's grab those ones on the inside of the hole and just do a slight inset, and we'll go maybe around 0.5 or so, and then we'll just delete these faces. Alright, let's actually put our shader on here so you can see what we're doing. Okay, so basically like that, and I think this should work. We'll see how it goes. So let's X isolation mode. I'm just going to jump out into the back view. Turn off polygon here. I'm just going to move our plane over to the edge here, and we'll just put a shell on. So let's shell it. Just going to zero out the outer amount. Just crank up the inner amount until it gets over to the other side. Alright, it looks like it'll be about 55 or 56. Okay, we got some weirdness going on here. I don't know what that is. Let's just see. I think I missed a weld, so let's just turn off our shell modifier for a second. Go in isolation mode, Alt Q, and we'll just drop back into edit poly and just make sure we have everything welded up. And there's the problem right there. So let's go to vertex, target weld, and we'll just weld this over here, that over there, like that. Just take a quick look, make sure you don't have anything else that's unwelded. I think we're in pretty good shape. Let's just hit show and result. Turn this on first. Alright, so let's just convert this to editable poly. Let's exit edge first. Convert to poly, and then we'll just go to edge, and I'm going to drag right through from the side. Grab all the edges so I'm getting the ones on the inside of the hole as well, and we'll just do another connect here. 2 segments again, and we'll just pinch them apart. Right, let's go maybe 95 or so on the pinch, no slide. And that should work nicely, I think, so let's turn off edge, just throw on a turbo smooth here, and we'll just see how the shape looks with 2 iterations. Alright, ice line display again. Not too bad. Let's exit and just see how the size looks. And I think we're pretty good, so let's just throw our gray shader on this piece. And I'm just going to check it out in the other views just to make sure it's fitting. Alright, it looks good from the right. The top looks nice and centered, and it looks good in the back view. Alright, so let's just move on to the next piece. I think I'm going to do the side ones next. Let's actually maybe just hide this so it's not in our way. So hide selection, and we'll start working on this one right here. We could do it the exact same way, or we could even use that piece, but I think I want to lower the resolution on this one a little bit, so I'm just going to start again. But that'll be up to you. If you want to reuse the geometry, you can. That's always a good idea. Saves time. But I'll just quickly create this again. So I'm going to start again with a cylinder. And we're kind of blocking ourselves here on the blueprint, so we'll just draw one out here. Alright, give it some height. Let's go into X-ray mode, Alt X, and let's maybe try 8 sides on this one. I'm not going to cut a hole in it, so it should be a little quicker. So let's just scale it down a little bit. I'm going to squash it just slightly, and then just move it down. And it's a little too small, so let's just do a uniform scale here. Alright, just move it up. And I'm just trying to get it close to the shape there on the prints. Maybe a little bit bigger. So something like that should work fine. Let's convert this to poly, and we're going to do basically the same thing here. I'm just going to cut it in half to start, so grab those 4 verts, hit connect. We'll trash the top this time. Delete those out of there. We'll jump out here and just get rid of everything but the side again. Delete those. And we want to maintain quads, even though we're not going to put that hole in, we are going to turbo smooth it. So let's just start by actually cutting it in half. Alright, so in wireframe, I'm just going to start on the bottom vert and go right straight up to that top edge and right click, like that. And then let's do an inset on these faces again. Might take this up a little bit more. Just going to check out the image here. The edges aren't totally hard, so we'll go up a little bit just to soften it up. Let's do maybe around 1.65. That should work. And then we'll just continue our edges here. So let's go back to cut. Just going to continue this right up to the top. Right click. Continue this one right over to the side. Right click, and I'll switch my shader here so you can see it a bit better. Alright, so just continue that across and that one up. And this one across to here. And this one up. If you want to, you can delete another half of it and just work on one side at a time. And then just copy it over after you're done, but it doesn't take too long either way. So we'll just grab both corners, and again, we're going to hit remove instead of control backspace. And that looks pretty good. So let's throw a shell on this, and we'll jump back out into the back view for a second, and we'll just move this over. Just going to convert it to poly right now, and just grab the verts on the right side and just push them back. And we just want to make sure we're going to clear the corner here. So let's check this out. And there's a tiny little bit of a space between this and this, so just do it something like that. Again, you can always go in X-ray mode to see, or change your keyframe with the comma and period keys. That looks pretty good there, so let's just jump into perspective. Just hit Z, I'm going to go in isolation mode again, Alt Q, and we'll just support this, so let's go to edge. We'll just do a couple of rounds, so let's ring that, connect it. 2 again, and we'll just pinch these apart. Alright, let's go maybe 83 on the pinch, no slide. And I think that's all we really need to do for this piece, so let's just put a turbo smooth on and see how it turns out. Alright, 2 iterations isoline. Take a look here. Not too bad. Just going to check the shape in the right view again, so let's just jump out here. And the one on the blueprint doesn't have the turbo smooth applied, so it's not going to be super accurate to this, but I'm just going to move it down like that. Check this out one more time. Just taking a look here. I think we're good. So just a little bit of space there. And I'm just going to scale it up slightly on the y-axis as well, just to make it a little bit longer so it matches a bit better. Okay, move it up like that. And let's center the pivot on this guy. So let's go into the hierarchy tab, hit effect pivot only, center object, turn it off. And I'm just going to shift drag it over to the other side here. And if it's not matching up perfectly, don't worry about it. Just want it kind of close. We'll throw the gray shader on. Let's right click and unhide all, get our other piece back, and just take a look in perspective and make sure everything's looking like it's going to match up how we want it to. Okay, it looks pretty good. These are a little bit rough, as you can see. If you want to, you can put another iteration of turbo smooth on those. It's probably not necessary though, because when you're looking at the whole model back here, it's going to look nice and smooth. So I'll just leave it with 2. Okay, so the next thing we're going to have to do is actually put that that center pin through there. For these bolts here, passes right through the center. So let's jump back out to the right view again. Just going to go to wireframe, and we're just going to draw a cylinder out here that matches our hole. Let's actually grab both these pieces though and just move them over slightly, just to make sure they're centered with our piece underneath. Looks good, so let's go into the modify panel, just grab a cylinder, and we'll just draw one out right here. Give it some height. Let's crank our sides up. I'm not going to turbo smooth this, so we'll just take it up to like 30 sides. Drop our height segments to 1, and let's just lower the radius down a bit. I'm just going to move it down until it's just smaller than the hole we put in the other piece. Yeah, make sure it's centered in there. That looks pretty close. Check it out in perspective. That's fitting pretty good. So let's just convert it to poly. Jump back into the back view, and we'll just extend it by pulling the verts over. So grab all those verts and just pull them over to the side here. Grab the ones on the right side and just pull them over this way. Just until it touches, like that. And let's just chamfer down the ends. So let's go to polygon. Just drag through, grab all the faces, hold Alt, drag through the center, so you just have the 2 end caps selected. And let's do this in perspective. So let's zoom in over here. Let's control click edge, and we'll just chamfer these down just slightly. Right, 0.4, 0.5, something like that should be cool. Hit OK, exit edge, let's go in isolation mode one more time on this piece. Gonna go back to polygon here and just delete the end caps. We don't need those. Throw our blue shader on so you can see. And let's just give the end chamfers some quick smoothing groups. So let's just zoom in here, grab an edge, do a ring, control click polygon, and just assign a group number like we did earlier. Do that over here as well. Ring, control click polygon, and give it a different number. Alright, so pretty simple. So let's just center the pivot on this now that we're done with it. So back into the hierarchy tab, effect pivot only, center object, and then turn it off. And we'll exit isolation mode. Let's throw the gray shader on. And we'll just take a quick look here. So not looking bad. So we just have a couple more pieces to go down here, and then we'll move up to the top. And we have a couple of bolts. Let's check them out in the video. So a big bolt on the side and this big bolt on the other side. So let's just make a quick bolt. Again, I'm going to do this in the right view. Alright, so let's use maybe a cylinder for this. Not to make anything too complex, so we'll just start right in the center of our new piece and just draw one out that's a little bigger. Give it some height. Let's take our sides down to 6. So it's bolt shaped again, and let's jump out here. I'm just going to pull this over so we can see it on the outside. Take a look up here in the back view. Throw the blue on. Change our shader so we can see through it. And it's a little too big right now, so let's just take the radius down slightly. Alright, maybe around 16, that looks about right. I'm just going to convert it to poly, and then just pull these verts over until it matches the print a bit better. And it's probably not going to be right on, as you can see it's a little off, but that's okay. That should work out. So let's exit vertex, go in isolation mode, Alt Q, and we'll just chamfer the edges quickly. So I'm going to start on the outside corner, just do a ring, chamfer this down a little bit. 0.7 or 0.8 should be cool, say OK, and then we'll invert the selection with Control I, and we'll just chamfer down the front and back. And the same amount looks pretty good, so we'll just say OK to that as well. And then if you want to, you can delete the back face, which I might do because I don't think we're going to need it. So we'll just grab that poly, delete it out of there. Just take a quick look. It's going to need some smoothing groups, so let's just quickly do that. So again, I'm just going to grab a little edge on the chamfer there, do a ring, Control click polygon, and just give it a number. And we'll do the same thing on the back side just in case you see it. And I'm just going to leave the outside faces because I think they're fine. Alright, so that takes care of the bolts. And we'll just apply the gray shader and hit exit isolation mode. Take a quick look. We just want to make sure there's no gaps here. So let's push it in until it touches. Like that. Just going to check in the right view, make sure everything's centered. We can actually center our bolt to the pin we made there. So just going to grab the align tool again and just click on the center pin we made and just tick on all 3 of these. Hit OK, and we're just going to have to pull it out to the side again. So let's move it over and just drop it right there, and then we'll shift drag our copy over to the other side. So shift and drag on the X. Just drop it on the outside here. Make sure it's touching like that. And I think that basically takes care of the top of the main post. Let's grab this guy here. We delete that face so it's facing the wrong way, so we'll just select it and just go to mirror here. And we're just going to mirror it on the X with no clone. And say OK, and that's going to flip it over on the X, and we'll just push it back in until it touches. Like that. Alrighty, so that takes care of those guys. Let's take another look here. And I think the next thing we're going to do is just start building in this piece right here, and then we'll just kind of work our way up until we get to the top. So let's maybe do save quickly.